Oh, hello, and welcome back to another episode of Ashley Makes Something Weird, and probably a little bit creepy. So I was just sitting in my studio trying to think up of what to do next. Do you ever do that? Just sit and like not have any ideas come to you? Yeah, me too. Sometimes I spend all day in silence staring at my studio wall trying to figure out what to do next. And today was that day, and then I figured I might as well just make something. I don't know. So I grabbed a pile of wood and I decided to make something completely from scratch. And what is one of my go-to things that I make? Well, okay, besides octopuses and mushrooms, haunted houses. Yep, I make a lot of haunted houses. And since today is the eve of Friday the 13th, that's right, tomorrow's Friday the 13th, lock your windows, pull your curtains, put on your lucky underwear. I don't know, whatever traditions that you do on Friday the 13th, get them ready because tomorrow is Friday the 13th. And this is your warning. Holy cow, did you see that? That scared the bejesus out of me. I don't know what a bejesus is, but it's out of me now. I was not expecting that candle to rudely drop its wick like that. Anyway, so on to this haunted house. I was feeling relatively lazy, so I decided to make my house look like it was in a fire because then I gotta add less walls and it's a lot less work. Even though it looks like a lot more work, you don't have to make it detailed because you just burn it. You burn all the details away. It's great. I highly recommend, but do not start a fire in your own house. I am very safe. I have a big bucket of water right next to me. So I do not want to hear that you guys have burnt down your house trying to make a miniature burnt down house because you're just going to make it into a reality. And I don't think that's a reality that you want to manifest. All right, now with the disclaimer out of the way, check this out. What's happening here? Why is it when I add super glue onto this wood, it smokes? I feel like there's some sort of weird chemical reaction happening, but I didn't take chemistry, and so I don't know. And even if I had, I don't think super glue on wood would have been in the curriculum, in the learning part of the class. Anyways, back to this house. So I really tried to think about how a house is actually built. And that's why I added all these, I don't know, support beams. Because I'm pretty sure real houses have plenty of support beams. And then I added the face of the house. And now I'm just adding the roof. The roof is on fire. I think that's a song. Or maybe it's Who Let the... No, that's not it. We didn't start the fire. Great balls of fire. They go to a lake of fire and ice. Okay, those are the only fire songs I can think of. I'm sure I'm missing one though. Oh, look at that. The whole house is on fire. Building a house of fire, baby. Okay, I'm done. I'm done with singing because I am a terrible singer. And just another reminder, do not do this at home because I am professional, probably. And I have a bucket of water. Anyways, so now I'm putting on the roof. And putting all the details on the roof, which can get pretty tedious, so I'm just gonna skip over that part. And look at that, we're adding paint because I probably decided that the real fire wasn't worth it anymore. You know, save my lungs and thumbs. So, oh, never mind. The fire makes another appearance. Okay, Ashley, I feel like you've been building this house for way too long. It's time to do something different. We're losing the people. The people are gonna be lost. Luckily, I do have something different up my sleeve. You're just gonna have to wait like couple more seconds. Hang in there. Look, even Emily's like, come on, let's move this along. You've been burning sticks and starting fires for 3 minutes now. Let's do something different. Oh, and look at that. There's something different. I told you it was going to happen. You didn't believe me. You thought I was going to keep burning stuff for a whole 10 more minutes after this. But no, joke's on you. This video's not even 10 minutes long. And what is that I'm making? Oh, just the cause of the fire. And if you remember, it's not we that started the fire. It's an airplane. I think that's in the song somewhere. And I have to say, for building an airplane for the very first time in my whole entire life, I'm kind of proud of this. It's too bad that I burn it. Spoiler alert. I mean, if you hadn't caught on to the video yet, you know, that everything that I touch, I'm burning in this video. But look at it. It could almost be a real airplane. See, I added the shell and then I'm adding paper around the airplane. I know airplanes aren't made out of paper, but maybe back in the day they were, you know, before they decided how airplanes should be made. Anyways, so maybe we should come up with a story for the rest of this video. So how did this airplane start a fire? Well, let me tell you. This airplane was just minding its own business, flying up in the air, you know, from a pilot. It's not like it was flying by itself. Unless, hold on, that could be a good story. Okay, so this pilot on Friday the 13th is flying in this old airplane and it flies through this Friday the 13th vortex, making the pilot disappear. And you know, super old airplanes, they don't have autopilot. And even if they did, they'd run out of gas or fuel. And then so it went right into this house, making the house burn up and become haunted, probably. But hold up, people can't just disappear. Where did the pilot go? Well, recently I've been watching these videos on TikTok about people who claim that they just like popped into another dimension and things are just slightly different. Like something isn't there that used to be there, or I don't know, their house is blue, and even though they've always grown up in a yellow house, it's now blue. And I've been fascinated with these stories. I don't know how true they are, but it makes you think. I can't remember what the technical name of it is, but maybe that's what happened to this pilot. He had a heart attack and disappeared in his plane, thus crashing the airplane into a house, then unaliving the people inside the house, which also makes them go into another dimension. And I know you're asking, then how's it haunted? Well, here's my theory on ghosts. I think once you pop into another dimension from your own dimension, you still have some sort of tether to this one. And so people might think that there's ghosts, but really it's just you living your life in another dimension. So it's like windows into other dimensions. I don't know. But then why would the pilot disappear and not the people in the house? I don't know. No, wait, maybe they both disappeared. But since the people in the house were in the fire, people just assume that, there's nothing left. But really, they're just living their best life elsewhere, not even knowing that a plane crashed into their house. I don't know. What do you guys think? So I got this dollhouse from Dollar Tree for $1. Okay, technically it's like $1.25 now, but whatever. And I'm gonna make it into a haunted house because it's close to Halloween. Come play with us, Ashley. Anyway, stupid dolls won't even sit in the chairs. Guess it's more realistic. Mom's always tired. What were we doing? Oh yeah, I was making a creepy dollhouse. Oh, look at this. They put some weird number right on the roof. Why couldn't they put that on the bottom? Ruining a perfectly good roof. Maybe I can sand it out. I know, let's burn it out with a circle window. Oh yeah, everything can be covered up with a circle window. Okay, but looking at these shingles, they need some help. I mean, what is this? Bricks on the roof? Who roofs their roof with bricks? No. We're gonna cover them up with wood. But since it's super repetitive, we're gonna speed through it. Look, I got bored even doing it in real time. I'm not gonna make you also watch it in real time. There, we've roofed our roof. That's a tongue twister. Now we have to roof the roofs on our roof. Oh my god, I'm getting confused. Okay, but what's not confusing is a circle window. And we're covering up those ugly numbers. Technically, it's not a circle window. It's like a hexagon window, but it's just as cool, I think. Well, actually, circle windows are way cooler than hexagon windows, but they're pretty close. All right, so now I'm just adding some small details, but I won't bore you with all the small details because I get bored easy. Hold up, look at the top of my house. I always see these on older houses, but I have no idea what they're for. The only thing I can think of is to keep birds off the top of your house. Is bird poop on the top of your house a problem? I've never had that problem with my house. Maybe bird poop used to be more acidic in the past, although I doubt it. Anyways, I boarded up some of these windows because it's a haunted house and we don't want the ghosts to escape. Or maybe we don't want people coming into the house because it's a haunted house. And that could be a liability. And I want to paint it black and a whole bunch of other colors, which I won't bore you with, and we'll speed through this too. Although if you want to see a longer video, I do post some on the tubes of you. You could be one of 2 commenters that comment. Or maybe just follow me here. That could be cool. You don't have to. Anywho, moving on. So as I was researching haunted houses, because I do my research, I ran into photos of people doing this exact thing with this exact dollhouse, and I was crushed. I put this whole project in the closet to forget about, but then I dug it back out, and I decided let's just scrap that lawn, and we're doing a tree house. Remember that time that I drew that house on a tree, and then immediately hated it and painted over it and pretended like it didn't exist? Yeah, me neither, because that painting didn't exist, remember? But if it had existed, which it didn't, making it into a sculpture would make me hate it less, I think. And hating your ideas less is the ultimate goal in life, probably. So it's just a haunted treehouse with spooky curtains. But we can't have white spooky curtains. That's not spooky enough. So I dyed them. Get it? I dyed them because it's a haunted house. Okay, no, that was a really bad joke. Don't leave, come back. Look, you know I'm obligated to make one bad joke in every video. And that was it. That was my bad joke. There'll be no more from this point on. So I'm adding some furniture and some plants. And I'm using the TV as some boxes up in the attic because everybody has boxes in the attic, especially if your attic is haunted. Whoa, did you see that? It's totally haunted. I mean, did you see the little girls? Hold on, I'm just adding them now. Come play with us, Ashley. Absolutely not. The answer to the question is always no. I don't care how nice the ghost is. Anyways, what do you think of my unoriginal Dollar Tree haunted tree house? Complete with creepy little girls. Ooh, look at them. They're so creepy. Even though this has been done, I think I added my own twist. Hiya! Oh hey, what's going on? Why am I spanking and flicking my cardboard? That's a weird question. Well, Well, I'm just trying to make the most realistic looking house I've ever made out of cardboard. Bonus points, it's gonna be tiny. Though I'm not really sure what I'm saving my bonus points for. Ooh, maybe a circle window? I definitely trade in my bonus points and some of my normal points for a circle window. Anyways, so this is gonna be another haunted hidey-hole. I mean, you'll see more towards the end what the hole is, but for right now, I'm just making the haunted part a haunted house. And here's Emily right on cue, trying to steal my pencil. I swear, if we let them have pencils, they'll organize, and you don't want cats to organize. They might join a union, and then we'll have to mandate treats. And you know what? Treats are just expensive cat food. You think my cats know the difference between treats and different branded cat food? Psst, they're not that smart. But if they unionize, it's all over. Anyways, as you see, I added some pointy roofs and then the little thing in the middle. I don't know what to call that. And then I started to glue down these little strips to make it more detailed. But this is gonna take forever, so I'm gonna use the magic of editing to speed it along. And bam, just like that. Oh yeah, look at that house. We're just missing a circle window right there. Perfect. I guess I cashed in those bonus points. Now, if only my husband would let me do it in real life. Anyways, and so now I'm just making the glass for the circle window, which is a shrinky dink. And hold up, look at the best part, when it shrinks. Oh yeah, look at that. What do you think happens when it dinks? Cause it's a shrinky dink? Oh man, I made it too small. You know what? It's really hard to tell how big a shrinky dink's gonna shrink to. I'm sure I could do like math or something, but that sounds hard and I'm lazy. That's why I'm adding these transitions. Oh yeah. Trust me, it's so much easier to do a transition than to show you how I glued on every little piece of cardboard. And honestly, you don't care. Once you've seen one piece of cardboard glued, you've seen it all. But look how detailed this house is. Don't tell anyone, I'm kind of proud of it. Let's paint it. Okay, I know it looks bad here. It's gonna get better. I promise. See, I'm just adding the details, you know, a little white trim and the roof paint. Do you think anyone's ever painted a roof in real life? It would be kind of nice to be able to change the color of your roof without having to completely re-roof it. Okay, and then I painted the inside red. I know it seems like a crazy choice, and it kind of is, but it sort of makes sense later. Just hold on. Okay, let's add the main roof. Whoops, I think I made it too big. All right, that's a little better. Okay, let's paint it to match the other roofs and add these teeny tiny shingles. Bam! Which I did in another transition because who wants to watch me glue on teeny tiny shingles? I don't even want to watch myself do that, and I've lived it. And no haunted house is complete without dirt. And then I glued mirrors to my roof. Well, what do you mean you don't usually have mirrors on your roof? Okay, look, here's my thought process. I'm gonna put lights in this thing. And I figured the mirrors would like help the light bounce around. I don't know. I could do it and I had the mirrors, so why not? I don't know if it actually helps, but they're in there. And then I added the glass for the windows, which is just orange plastic. I'm hoping it'll make the light that comes out of there like an orangish color because the lights that I have are kind of blue and blue lights aren't that spooky. I mean, it kind of reminds me of fluorescent lights. Fluorescent, which don't get me wrong, is spooky. I hate fluorescent lights, but it's not exactly haunted house spooky. And then I glued these pieces of wood and held it together with these clips, but I forgot to film me taking off the clips. So here's the same footage, only in reverse. I mean, would you have even noticed if I had said anything? Hey, it's hard to remember to film while I'm doing art, okay? Sometimes I get too into it and the camera's just not on. And you know what? Then I just gaslight you and tell you that you didn't see the same footage, only backwards. And I definitely didn't admit it to you. Anyway, so now I'm adding the lights onto this piece of wood. And then I add a big foil donut to the middle. That's gonna be the hill that our house sits on because I've never heard of a haunted house not on a hill. In fact, can a house be haunted if it's not on a hill? Okay, I've heard of lake houses being haunted or like beach houses, but 9 times out of 10, they're on a rocky cliff, which isn't a hill, but it's pretty close. All I'm saying is that a hill helps the hauntedness. Okay, and if you were watching, I added the lights to the house and the house to the hill and the hill's on the platform, but the platform's a little too smooth. So I got out my boring rocks and I rocked your world with my super amazing rock texture technique. Yeah, that's right. I rock at making rock texture. See what I did there? Because I totally rocked this haunted house. You know what? I'm a stone cold awesome joke teller. In fact, only a bolder person could make more groundbreaking jokes than these. Okay, but seriously, if you're laughing at these jokes, you're definitely stoned. See what I did there? And here you thought I was done with the puns. All right, let's wipe the slate clean because this conversation's getting a little rocky. And I really shouldn't take for granted your ability to laugh at me while I hit rock bottom with these jokes. Okay, seriously, I'm gonna lay to rest all the rock jokes and move on because now I'm adding a graveyard to my haunted house. You know all haunted houses have graveyards. Is this something they used to do like way back when? Because I don't think I would buy a house with a graveyard, especially if I didn't know the people. I love this noise. Hold on. Oh yeah, you're welcome. So another thing that haunted houses have, if you didn't know, are creepy old pipes that cause water pollution. Or maybe it's just a runoff pipe. I don't know. In my story, it's water pollution. And then I added these mushrooms, not because I already made them for a different project. And they may or may not have been too big. It's because mushrooms grow where there's rotten stuff. You know, like old stumps and, I don't know, dead bodies. Maybe. And rotten stuff is creepy, so I added the mushrooms. Now, if you remember, I buried 2 lights right here. So I'm just covering up the lights with sconces. Is that the right word? Or is a sconce a light on a wall? I don't know, outdoor light. And then I had one last light, and it's on this really long wire. So I ran it all the way over here to the end of the graveyard, and I thought I'd add a light so that all the ghosts can see at night. You know, some spooky ambiance. And I just used a button nipple for the top. I still don't know what to call those things. They look like button nipples to me. And then I gave everything a nice dirty coat. Because dirt is creepy, and I'm making a haunted house, not like a cool old Victorian bed and breakfast. No, there's nothing creepy about that. I mean, unless it has bed bugs. Bed bugs are creepy. Also, if it had a creepy owner that wanted to come in your room at night and watch you sleep, I guess that would be creepy. Oh, and then I'm just adding sand to the beach. Oh, look at that. It's a house on a hill and also on a beach. That makes it like double haunted, right? But you know what makes this beach even more creepier? The fact that there's no water. I know you're asking, Ashley, why is there no water? I don't know. It could have been a drought. It could be 200 years in the future after a big nuclear bomb. Anybody else watching Fallout? Okay. Maybe the story is... All right, I kind of like the bed and breakfast thing, so I'm going to run with that. Whoever owns this house was actually running a pretty successful bed and breakfast. Okay, look, he needs a name. How about Kevin? Yeah. So Kevin, all his customers kept passing away. And rather than deal with it, he just kept burying them in the graveyard. I mean, it was a little suspicious that every time that a guest disappeared, a new grave showed up. I mean, honestly, the cops should have caught on. But, you know, being a small town, they didn't exactly have the budget for top tier police work. But anyways, so Kevin couldn't figure it out why all his customers kept passing away. And hold on, I hated this green. It just didn't match with the green setting, so I changed it to blue. In case you're wondering why I'm repainting. See, blue looks much better. Okay, anyways, back with the story. So it turns out that this woman who used to own the property, we'll just name her Ruth. Well, Ruth, she's always wanted a circle window. So one day she just cut a hole in the wall because her husband, Bill, wouldn't let her get a circle window. But what's he gonna do now? There's a big hole in the wall. Not plug it with a circle window? That would look ridiculous. So that's what he did. Well, actually, she had to do it because he refused to put one in because he's a big jerky jerk face. Anyways, so when she did it, she's not like a circle window expert, and she just put it in. And hold up, everybody always says I should put people in my miniatures, and I've always pushed against that because I don't want people in my miniatures. But I thought I'd give it a try for you guys, and I was thinking maybe dead body, but it just wasn't feeling dead enough for me. So instead, I thought I'd make it into a statue. And I realized she's wearing a swimsuit and holding a towel, but it kind of looks like a bouquet or a book or something if you just don't look at it too closely and squint. And then this one has floaties on, but you know what? Maybe they're just big sleeves or wings, or maybe we'll just put her on the floor and nobody will ever look that closely. Because honestly, what are the chances that the statue is still standing, especially if it's been any significant amount of time? Yeah, it makes more sense that she fell over. And it's not because she's improperly dressed. Okay, now, where were we with this story? Oh, so she put in the circle window, but she's not an expert. And she definitely messed something up. In fact, to make room for the circle window, she took out all the ventilation in that wall. Which, I don't know if you know this, but you need ventilation. And that caused carbon monoxide. Do not come at me if I said that wrong. Carbon monoxide. Anyways, it caused that stuff to accumulate. Is that what it does? Does it accumulate? Sure, we'll go with that. So the carbon monoxide was accumulating in the house, and the whole house gets poisoned. And tragically, none of them had a carbon monoxide detector, and they all passed away in their sleep. In fact, they're probably buried underneath these mushrooms. Anyways, so the next owner, Kevin, he gets the house for a steal because all these people passed away, and nobody wants a house with a bunch of people that passed away. And Kevin fixes the wall and opens up a bed and breakfast. But what Kevin doesn't know is that there's an angry ghost there. Ruth's husband, Bill. Bill was upset that he died for the circle window that he didn't even want in the first place. So he vowed to, unalive anybody who said anything nice about that circle window. And honestly, that's the first thing everybody sees when they walk into the house. So all the customers just love that circle window because who wouldn't love a circle window? Except maybe, Ruth's husband. So that really ticks him off. So Bill ends up poisoning most of the guests. But here's the thing. When Kevin buries all the guests in the yard, the graveyard, their bodies like seep through and they go into the drinking water. And this ends up killing all the fish in the lake. And with all the fish dead, there's no more tourism, there's no more fish commerce. Just the fishing community is dead. So there's no point in having the lake anymore because there's no fish in it anyway. So they stopped pumping water into the lake because there was a big dam that they used for the town's power. But, you know, no town means no need for power. So the whole lake runs dry. And poor Kevin never figured out why all his customers kept, you know, passing away. Although really, we shouldn't have that much sympathy for Kevin because, I mean, he's been hiding bodies for a while now and nobody, you know, has noticed, but it's still not exactly not a crime. But anyway, so the moral of the story is if you're going to put in a circle window, which I highly recommend that you do, make sure you hire a professional and, you know, maybe let your wife put one in your house. Okay, so I'm going to get back to talking about making the art. So I'm just going to add some trash to the yard because, you know, this is an old abandoned house. After Kevin's business failed, he abandoned it. And this could be like years down the road, maybe like hundreds of years later. But since this used to be a lake, I added this little rusty chain to a pole so you could tie up your boat. And then I thought we were lacking a few trees, but I don't want healthy trees. That doesn't feel very haunted. So I went with more of a broken down dead tree vibe. I don't think anybody actually chopped down this tree. I think because the water's poisoned, remember? So that would mean that the water for the trees would be poisoned and then the trees would get sick and they'd fall over, right? That's a thing. Okay, and here's what it looks like with the lights on. Isn't it pretty? It looks kind of realistic, right? I really tried to add as many details as I could here, and this video really doesn't do it much justice, but there's my circle window, the best part of the whole house, obviously. Okay, now a haunted hidey hole needs a hole to hide in, right? So remember these domes that I had from a previous project? Well, I'm using the other side to make a dome over our house. Although I don't know how anything can hide in a clear plastic dome, but you know what? I'm still going with the name. It's a haunted hidey hole. And I'm just using some clay to attach our dome to our miniature. And then I textured the clay to look like wood. And then I added these vines to the backside. 20% because I liked the vine look and 80% because I thought it could use some extra support, which don't we all need some extra support? But you know what? I want my haunted hidey hole dome to be fancy. And you know how we make it fancy? We add balls and more balls. Look, here are my balls in my hand. Anyway, so then we flip it over and we attach the balls to the bottom. Stop it, you guys. You're so immature. All right, then so nice cut of paint later. We flip it back over and look at that. We're done. Now let's just get the close-up shots. Oh yeah. Do you guys think it looks realistic? Kind of. And you know what? I refuse to fast forward through this part. I worked super hard on all these little details. You're gonna stop and watch it. That's right, this is real time. I'm not speeding this up. In fact, we're gonna sit here in silence and watch it. Okay, but it's kind of awkward. So maybe some music. Enough of that. Anyways, what do you guys think? And what kind of haunted hidey hole should I do next? Also, if you want to make your own haunted hidey hole, check out my book. My linkies in the description. And don't forget to like and do all the things. It really helps me out. Okay, thanks. Bye.